welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. No sleep today. Well, now we're going to be sleeping. It's the middle of the day, but I don't know what I was going to say. No sleep, no rest. Maybe no rest is what I was looking for. Whoo! We got ourselves a trade. I was ready to go. I already had a thumbnail built because it seemed like the Harden Garland stuff was like just moments away. So already built the thumbnail, was ready to go. I see a little tweet notification. Surely this is the Harden deal. But no, not so fast. Man, we were doing some crazy stuff. Look at this. This is spicy. This also just makes tonight's slate crazy. But here we go. Ready? Breaking. The Memphis Grizzlies trade Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Concha, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams of the Juniors to the Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., the rookie, for Kyle Anderson, the definitely not rookie, for Taylor Hendricks, who I have been drafting every year in best ball since his rookie season, Georges Niang, the minivan, and 3 future first-round picks. That's 3 other picks. Jake Fisher also just elaborated on what some of those picks are here. He said the Utah Jazz are trading their most favorable 2027 first-round pick of Cleveland, Minnesota, Utah, the Lakers' 2027 first-round pick, and Phoenix's 2031 first-round pick to Memphis, which I believe they got last season, right? I forget what the deal Phoenix did last year for them to get that pick. So what I find fascinating about this, right, is it's those 3 picks, but Utah, so they have Walker Kessler still, right? Who's still, sorry, I got to zoom in a little bit. Walker Kessler, who's still not going to play this year. Obviously, Lowry Markin and Keontae George, Yusuf Nurkic is still there. They now add all of these guys. I wonder how many of those those guys who come over in the trade stay on the Jazz. But the biggest thing I note here is that they still hold on to their 2026 pick. So it feels like they could still like pump the tank brakes, or I guess push the tank gas, and get themselves one more lottery shot here. And what I love about it is, I think they were still in this weird spot here, Utah that is, with Lowry Markkanen of they're close to being competitive and fun. Competitive. I wouldn't say playoff third round level type shit, but they were close to being competitive, but still super on the young side. And now this all of a sudden kind of bridges that gap a little bit by bringing in Jaren Jackson Jr., who is more aligned age wise, right, with what we're doing here with Lowry Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Keontae still on the younger side. But again, one more first round pick so they could still do this shit. They could still tank aggressively here as they're in one of the biggest tank spots of all time tonight against the Pacers, who have already just said they're resting everybody. And now they could also still, spin off a couple of these guys. Yusuf Nurkic is still there, and, Nurk has been fun, right? The Bosnian beast. He's thrown a couple of triple-doubles out here recently. I don't know if Yusuf is long for Utah, although he is a big guy and he's white, and they seem to congregate there in Utah. But, man, this Jaren Jackson Jr. fit next to Walker Kessler and to Lowry Markkanen is really, really fun. I wonder why Filipowski didn't go, because where does he fit? Yeah, Utah's made it clear by how they do you know how many guys have to be out for Utah for Filipowski to get real minutes? The only time you can look to Filipowski is if one of Lowry and Nurk are out, along with Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson now out for sure. So let's go back to this. Jake Fisher had a second tweet around it here, too. He said, we've been writing for some time that the moment Memphis declared they were entertaining the Ja Morant trade offers, rival executives saw an opening to deal for Triple J. The market for Triple J has far exceeded what interest the Grizzlies have fielded for Morant. And we said this, too, right? When they, when they mentioned that Ja was on the table, they also explicitly said, hey, we're actually ready to build around Jaren Jackson Jr. And to me, that was a signal that they were like, that's because we like him more than Ja, but if you call with the right price tag, maybe you give us a little bit of Ja, huh? So that is pretty fun. And yeah, I agree with Magikarp here. Great contract to get rid of Memphis too. That is a great move here. Let's look at, before we do the Memphis side of stuff, because we will look at Memphis, let's kind of just pop over, because I wanted to look at the standings, because I do think there's like two different there's two different like moves they could make here because I think Utah is talented enough right now that they could just make one more, not run at it, but like they could make a run at the play-in if they wanted to, and then still be at the back end of the lottery. But if they are hanging on to their 2026 pick, I think the move is to probably just suck a little bit longer here, right? So they have 15 wins. So honestly, they're like five. No, they're like 8 games out. So they're not catching. I mean, although we don't know what the Clippers are going to do because they might be trading for a guy who's not going to play very much for them. So Utah's probably still in the tank mode, but you look into the future though is pretty fun, man. That is a Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen, Keontae George core with Walker Kessler coming back from injury. Ace Bailey's still there too, right? Like this is a team that I think could be, I don't know, pretty spicy, right? Regulators saying it's a top 8. Yeah, that's right. That's with OKC. It's top 8 protected. So they have to finish in the bottom 8 to hold on to their pick, which was like part of the reason they were starting to agree. Like they were too competitive early on in this season. That's why we've been seeing them push the levers. Man, I kind of love this for Utah. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. has been frustrating at times, right? I think, he had that Defensive Player of the Year run, and now we've spent the last couple of years, honestly, since he's played for the FIBA team in America and how bad he's been on the glass. I think we've all been like undervaluing him a little bit. And I don't necessarily think that you're not getting Jaren Jackson Jr. and being like, finally, we have our number one guy. But Keontae has really blossomed in a way that I wonder if it made Danny Ainge and the rest of the front office kind of just look at this again and be like, hey, maybe we actually have something here. Because I tell you what, they would not have made this move at this point last year with what Keontae was doing. But he has taken like legit steps where, and it's not what Keontae's doing right now too. And I'm super biased because I'm like a Keontae super fan. But what he's doing right now is not one of those where it's like, oh, congrats, you're a player on a bad team that's just averaging like 24 points a game. The way he's doing it is different, man. He's been able to like get to the line consistently, and he's shown that he can do it whether it's against the Bulls or the Oklahoma City Thunder. I always go back to that game against Houston, right? Where he had one of the worst games of his life, where I think he had more turnovers than points. Amen Thompson absolutely locked it up. But it was one of those those situations where they played Houston one game, and then it was like 2 days later, not even, it was like a day later, they played Houston again. And in the second game, absolutely cooked. So I think to see like the Keontae development, the chemistry that Key has with Lowry, seeing Ace Bailey come along, I wonder if they were just looking around and they were like, hey man, maybe we're not that far away. And at some point you have to decide we're going to be good again, right? You can't just continue to tank year after year after year. At some point you got to do it, and you're starting to develop some talent around there. And man, yeah, maybe they're threatening to quit. I mean, no one's happier than Will Hardy right now, right? Will Hardy must just be like, hell yes. And honestly, like Jaren Jackson Jr. is probably going to feel pretty good about this too. Because like Memphis had a fun run for a little bit, right? Looked around and was like, man, wait, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, am I going to... Where is the future in this Memphis team? I know they got Ty Jerome back. We can talk about Memphis here in a second. I know they got Ty Jerome back. But, I mean, I think once they moved off of Desmond Bane, yeah, the writing was a little bit on the wall here, where I think they needed to make a move. Triple J illness coming. Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty fun, though. I really like this trade. And then so is Memphis still okay in the West? So let's talk about Memphis here, too, a little bit. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, Emo. Jazz could absolutely still get a good pick. And, yeah, to Karam's point, like Memphis famously, like, really good at finding these. I mean, you look at Santi Aldama, Desmond Bane, Vince Williams Jr., Gigi Jackson. They're able to find these guys, like, late into drafts and make this work. But Memphis for the rest of this season is going to be so bad, right? So who do they get? They got back in this deal. Let me go back to the old Sham Slam here, and I'm still waiting to see if the Harden thing comes through. So they're getting Walter Clayton Jr., who, had some promising moments for Utah, but I don't think they were like, okay, let's go. Kyle Anderson, who's not like, welcome back to Memphis, Kyle Anderson. Georges Niang, neither of those, I mean, Niang's been hurt, he's been missed a ton of time. Neither of those guys matter in any of this. Taylor Hendricks, like they're like, here's 2 young pieces in Taylor Hendricks and Walter Clayton, and here's 3 future picks. And I think what Utah's banking on is well, one of us is a Lakers pick, right? So it's like we can be, and Memphis isn't worried about this too. It's like, okay, well, we get the Lakers pick. What was the other one too? Sorry, I missed it. It was Memphis. The other one, oh, the Phoenix one. It was like and then the worst of Minnesota, Cleveland, and Utah. So it's probably a couple of mid first rounders, right? But I think most importantly, getting off of that contract helps them out quite a bit. So now, now, does Ja Morant get moved in the next couple of days? Is that an offseason thing that happens with Ja Morant? It's just kind of a crazy run with Memphis where I know we always make fun of, I know we're already doing it in the chat. We make fun of who's next in the West, and rightfully so. I mean, it's hilarious to kind of stake claim to something and then never win a damn thing ever again. But to go from there, like just 2 years ago, number 2 seed in the West, the core of Ja, Bane, Triple J, like thinking that they were going to be around here for a little bit, and to flame out with like what, one postseason series win, right? Is that what it was? Just one postseason series win? So yeah, I don't know. And how much does this Memphis move have to do with their owner, being a war criminal? We'll never know. Karam saying Memphis is tearing it all the way down and starting over. They're a small market. I know, but it's just interesting to say that they have done it with another small market team in the Utah Jazz. Justice says Giannis value to the moon. Why do you think this moves the Giannis stuff more? Do you think because they're seeing how much do you think this was a big haul for Memphis? It's going to be like 3 mid first round picks, right? 3 mids. I think unless you think the Lakers are going to be worse than they are, unless you think Utah is going to be like really bad still next year. But again, that core of Utah, I mean, who are you taking next year? The current version of the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond, or are you taking Keontae, Lowry, Triple J, and Walker Kessler? Who wins more games this time next year? Again, who knows who's going to be on that team next year? But what roster do you feel better about next year? Even Phoenix, man. Like, what roster would you feel better about? I don't know. That was, man, pretty spicy. So I don't know if that actually moves the Giannis value. Giannis is going to get a bigger deal than that anyways, right? It's going to be multiple. Ace is the 5th guy is kind of crazy, or 6th man. Yeah, it is just kind of crazy. Yeah, DJP, they don't have any centers, man. They don't have any centers. I know that you keep putting that question in there. I promise we'll get there. They don't have centers. Brandon Clark's going to miss some more time. You're going to have Zach Edey's. There's no reason to rush Zach Edey back because there's no pressure for Memphis to be good anytime soon here. You're with no Jacques Landale. Like, they're not going to have. It doesn't matter. It's good. Gigi Jackson's going to play a lot of time. I would imagine. He's going to get a little bit more run here. It's honestly, do you remember, was it 2 seasons ago? I think whenever the All-Star game was in Salt Lake City, because that's when I was out there, when I remember this happening, where it was like, holy shit, Gigi Jackson is going to be playing a ton of minutes. I don't know. I think we're going to see Memphis do a couple more moves here, right? I think we're going to see, I feel like the Bucks recouping as many picks as they moves the needle. Moves the needle for who? I mean, like, I think he was already. I don't think the amount of picks Jaren Jackson Jr. just got is going to change how many picks. Giannis was already going to get a lot of picks. I think Giannis's value is already pretty high. But yeah, I mean, Ja Morant, Ty Jerome. I mean, who else, man? Who else over there? I feel like we got to see more Memphis guys just get shipped out at this point. But man, I did not see this one coming. I did not, and honestly, I didn't see the James Harden one coming, which we can like pivot to that here for a second, because it does feel like we're going to get that here any minute now, right? So like Chris Haynes, almost like as we were done with our show this morning, which, by the way, if this is your first time here, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Nice having some new faces. One of the funnier things we did today, actually, let me, before we do that, let me just show you. So this morning, we were talking about the trade, right? And I tweeted this clip out, but we made fun of how we knew some people were going to talk about James Harden and just say this was like a big business decision, right? So let's go see what this clip. Let's go see the clip first. So this happened before. Cynically, and I'm sure somebody like Nate Jones will tweet out, like, this is the cost of business. You got to look out for number one. And sure, again, I'm not trying to count other people's. Okay, ready? So that, and then let's go to see, what were we quote tweeting? Oh, it was Nate Jones saying, "I know people like to be critical of Harden, but the guy learned his lesson from the Philly experience. This is a business." I just thought that was so funny that we got that right away. But let's go to the Chris Haynes tweet. Borland with the 5 memberships. Wait, was I not sharing screen for any of that? Did I not share screen for any of that? And did you guys just watch me listen to it and you guys couldn't hear any of that? Fuck, unreal. That's bad. That's hilarious. Okay, guys, let's try this again. Embarrassing stuff. I thought I was sharing screen. Nobody said anything in the chat. All right, hold on. Let's try this again. Somebody like Nate Jones will tweet out, like, this is the cost of business. You know, you got to look out for number one.
I was sharing.
Look out for... All right. My bad. Oh, man, this is a nightmare. Okay, so this is from Chris Haynes. Ready? Chris Haynes said, this is right after the show ended. Los Angeles Clippers and Cleveland Cavs have ramped up convos on James Harden. Darius Garland, packaged with both sides motivated to executing a deal relatively soon, league sources tell me. I still can't understand this getting. I don't like it. It doesn't make sense to me. I know there were some Cleveland fans in the chat this morning that were excited about it. I was listening to a little bit of the Bill Simmons live show with he had Joe House on doing his trade value thing, but before they did the trade value, this is the one on Netflix. They seemed a little bit more bullish on it than me, and this feels like the most regular season ass trade of all time. I know Consiglieri's in the chat about that. Wait, it's hard to be a Boston fan not getting the deals done you want. I cry for you. Wait, what? What are you crying about, Consigliere? I'm saying I don't understand why you want to do that. I don't understand why the Clippers want to do this. I don't understand why the Cavaliers want to do this. Both teams seem to be in decent spots right now. And again, I feel like I've said this over and over again. I understand the idea of trying to upgrade your spot here, the Darius Garland spot, if you feel like that combo of Spite and Garland has run its course. I totally get that. But to fill the hole with James Harden just makes no sense. Oh, look at the memberships. Just Membies being gifted all over the place. You love to see it. But I really thought this was, more of a leverage play here by Harden to kind of like juice some contract talks or something like that. You think it's Garland and picks? That's why I like the deal. Why would you get more for James Harden, who's forcing his way out? Because of the 15% trade kicker? Is that what we're talking about? I don't understand who thinks they have leverage between these two spots. It's two organizations holding a point guard that has yet to do anything in the postseason with teams who are trying to do something in the postseason. I got Cavs fans telling me Darius Garland is too hurt all the time. He never does anything in the postseason. And the only remedy for that is James Harden, who has famously never done anything in the postseason. And then on the flip side, the Clippers are like, yeah, you could take Harden. That dude sucks in the postseason. Give us Darius Garland, who also sucks in the postseason. What are we doing? I used the reference this morning. I'm trying to think of better examples, but it's just trading dog shit for older dog shit. And that's disrespectful to James Harden and Darius Garland. They're both really good basketball players. But do you know what I'm saying? What are we doing? How is this? This Utah deal, this is something that's making me move a little bit. All right, the Grizzlies are like, we don't have it right now. We need to tear it all down and rebuild. We like Jaren Jackson Jr., but he's not good enough to build around a franchise. So let's just get all the stuff we can get. Let's build it down. Let's get some money from Ubiquity, right? And all the drones that we're sending over to Russia. We'll get some money from that and then start to build from the ground up, right? That makes sense to me. Utah, they've got a young core. They're like, at some point, we need to rip the Band-Aid off and go after it. And they're like, Jaren Jackson Jr. makes sense next to our big guy, makes sense next to Lowry Markkanen, and we have Keontae blooming, right? Oh, there we go. I understand the direction of both organizations. The Clippers and the Cavs are both right now, it feels like they have a massive gunshot wound in their leg, and they're asking for just like an ankle wrap or something. You know what I mean? What are we doing? And I'm not even, I think Harden has done a good job with the Clippers. I think he has been reliable. He plays a ton of regular season games. I think he's a good fit with Zubats and Kawhi. They all seem to like each other. And they've been bad at the beginning of the year. They now have to work on their way up. Whoever they'd play in the first round, they'd be underdogs. But if you're OKC or if you're Denver or San Antonio, whoever would get matched up against them, nobody's like pumped to play that team, right? And if you're the Cavs, you're like, I know the Pistons have a 5.5 game lead or 7.5 game lead over them, 5.5 over the 2 seed. The Cavs have like one of the easier schedules the rest of the way out. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're going to end up being the number 2 seed in the East. So if you're making a move like this, that's obviously going to shake up the chemistry and core of your organization, your team. God, I hope it's worth. And now you have to do it. Like, you have to do the move now, only because, if anything, you've basically told Garland to F himself, right? That's the craziest part about all of it. You've just been like, yeah, man, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, man, Stardust are using this opportunity to be like, actually, Scotty Barnes is better than Evan Mobley. It's good. I know I can count on you in the chat. But, man, yeah, Dan Gilbert, this is from Consigliere in the chat, says Gilbert is not going to perennially pay the tax. The Cavs GM has to win now. Harden has been a floor general who provides more games than Garland. This is a dumb take, though. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, if Cleveland does this, I'm not saying you're dumb for this take. But if Cleveland does this, it is a dumb thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have so much documentation. We have so much history. We have a full-ass resume of a man at the tail end of his career, of his prime anyways. We already have seen it. We've seen it in the Western Conference with the Rockets and the Clippers. We've seen it in the Eastern Conference with the Nets and the Sixers. Fuck, if you put him in the Harlem Globetrotters and the Globetrotters are playing the Generals in a playoff game, I would take the Generals' money line. Like, we've seen it over and over and over again. And it's easy to bank on the guy who's younger because we haven't seen enough of it. But, man, no thank you. No thank you. Oh, man, just insane stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it. I like it better when we think that maybe Pablo Torre finally got the NBA to do the thing. Triple J for a bunch of picks. It was like for 3 first-round picks. Memphis is getting off of the contract. They're getting 3 first-round picks. They're getting roster flexibility. They don't have to pay Jaren Jackson Jr. anymore. And yeah, as regulator said, right, he signed that extension over the summer. Remember, he signed the extension and then like a day later was like, hey, BT Dubs, my foot's hurt. I'm not going to be ready for the start of the season. Yeah, it's going to be a big number. But the good news is Utah's not paying anybody, right? So if they're trying to make that jump right now, you can overpay for somebody like that when they're not a team like the Celtics who have 2 guys making 50 plus million, or like the Sixers who are paying max EPG beat, so you can get away with that. Cavs are having discussions about Giannis and Anthony Davis. Yeah. Now, okay. That is the one thing I will say that I guess I should have talked about more. Like, if apparently they are going to just really throw some shit against the wall and just try to get Anthony Davis along or Giannis along with Harden, I guess that's a different conversation. But I don't know what they have to offer and what sort of financial flexibility they have that they can secure 2 of these guys. But it's crazy. The lack of trust that the Cavs have in themselves right now is just kind of wild. It's just kind of wild because, listen, whatever move they make, the Cavs are going to be underdogs if they make it to the finals. Yeah, the Cavs do have a high payroll because Evan Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year, and because of that, his contract goes boom, 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 goes real high in the next couple of years. Spida, obviously, they're paying. Garland's paid. Allen's paying too. So I don't know. I just think, man, if you're Cleveland, I know they do feel pressure to win right now. And I saw Hershey saying just trade back for Ty Jerome. Weisberg posed this on Monday during the NBA Bit Show yesterday. He said, that is a possibility, right? Where you could be like, here's Lonzo Ball. We'll give you Lonzo and some picks, or Lonzo and an asset. Give us Ty Jerome back. You could definitely see that. If you compare, this is Consigliere saying, if you compare Paul George to the Phillies for free or Harden for Garland and picks, I think it's a trigger the Clips Man, consigliere, you wrote that. Did you write that from the bathroom? Like, are you at work right now taking a bathroom break and you have one hand peeing and the other hand typing? I don't know what that is. I guess I'm fine. I just don't understand why the Clippers are rocking the boat. You got both teams are in fine situations right now. They're in fine spots. I mean, more pressure on the Cavs than the Clippers, but the Clippers, like Garland, you getting Garland, all of it, that does not raise your ceiling. That does nothing for you. It doesn't. No one's like, holy shit, the Clippers got Garland. Should I reconsider my free agency and go pair up with that big two of Darius Garland and Kawhi Leonard? Ivica Zubac is about to hit free agency. I don't know if the Clippers are going to go ahead and write a big check for Big Z. I don't know, but I don't see the foresight in that. I don't. Unless they really are, if Cleveland is really giving them more and it's not just like Garland for Harden straight up, if there's extra stuff in there, these guys are like, forget doing drug tests on players, do them on the front office. I need to know what kind of cocaine is being passed around those offices because that's nuts. That's nuts. Yeah, but Zoo's been hurt too a little bit. I mean, I think we got an absolute ceiling performance from Zubac season. I think, and we're getting more of a floor performance from him this year. But I think, I know the Celtics would probably overpay. Let's go back to this here for a second. I forgot that Walker Kessler's a restricted free agent. But yeah, man, I'm in on this starting five. Yeah, regulator, we're way ahead of you, buddy. The whole Pacers team is out tonight. The whole Pacers team is out. When Vid Krejci went to Portland the other day, Cleveland should then trade Mobley for AD, says the Mavericks fan. Let's go. This is the starting five, man. This is the starting five. Look at this. Keontae, Bailey, Lowry, Triple J, Walker, Kessler. I'm in on this team, man. I am in on this team. Yeah, the Raptors, too. That's another name that's getting thrown around right now. Domas Sabonis. To the Raptors, potentially. Cool, dude. Cool, man. Yeah, what have we seen? What have we seen that we're like, yeah, we need to go get Sabonis as, like, the cornerstone big man? Like, the Raptors, you're already surpassing expectations. Just like Colin Murray Boyles be your five. Figure it out. 120 million next season for Lowry, Triple J. That's fine though. That's fine. I'm not concerned about the money. I'm not concerned about the money if I'm the Utah Jazz. I am interested to see like if they bring back Walker Kessler on what's that? What do they call that when they don't reach a settlement and restricted? I don't know. I'm curious to see if somebody else throws a bag at Walker Kessler if he comes back to Utah. I think that's pretty interesting. But I would like to see them, Lowry as a three. That's just a Keontae, Ace Bailey, Lowry. If Ace Bailey takes a little bit of a jump, too, because he's looked a lot better the last couple of weeks. He takes a little bit of a jump. Whoo! This would be a fun team. How is it fine for Kessler, who plays as many games as me per season? Well, I mean, yeah, he got hurt this year. And he's a restricted free agent, so it's not like they're not stuck with him long term. He's still on his rookie deal. Adam in the chat saying, who's the fantasy pickup? Well, I think Utah, with Utah keeping their pick, I'll be curious to see how many times Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George and Yusuf Nurkic all play together. I think tonight, Kyle Filipowski and Isaiah Collier, get ready. You're going to be playing mega minutes. I am pretty intrigued here on the Memphis side of stuff. Gigi Jackson's going to be a lot of fun. I think they're going to let Spencer run quite a bit. Walter Clayton maybe get some run. Because what do you think about it? Vince Williams Jr. was playing a lot of minutes for them. When he was healthy, he was playing a lot of minutes for them. Obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing 30 minutes. That's basically like 50 minutes a night that's opened up. And Jock Landale was playing 30 minutes. He was their starting five. So, yeah, Gigi Jackson, baby. Gigi Jackson to the moon. He's going to play a ton of minutes. Who of these Grizz that the Jazz just picked up are going to be flipped before the deadline? Yeah, I mean, I don't expect to see Jock Landale on this team long term. I don't expect to see a lot of Jock. Who was the other one in that deal? They got Jock. They got Who was the other one that I'm missing? Vince Williams is kind of interesting, and then John Conchar. Wow, so they don't have Walter Clayton tonight either, dude. Utah is going to be thin tonight. So they've already ruled out Keontae and Yusuf Nurkic, Kyle Anderson. And I think they said Kevin Love is out. And now you take out Walter Clayton and Taylor Hendricks and George Niang was hurt. Whoo, man, this is spicy, dude. This is spicy. I think we're having fun. We're having fun this deadline. Whew, man, anything else on that one? I think we might call it. Like, we'll do these just quick 30-minute hits, I think. Yeah, the Jazz got 4 solid players. So Thunder out. Do you think you're really going to go get a center tonight? I saw Caruso got updated to questionable. Not for tonight, but I mean before Thursday. OKC talking about maybe a little upgrade. Oh, my God. Relax. Allen, it's during the workday, man. But yeah, I think what we'll do is stay flexible here, and if we get some more breaking news, we'll jump back on. We'll just continue to jump back on. That's going to be the goal this week, is to be around, so we can like jump on and post. But if you guys just do react as it happens. Horford, okay, all right, bring Horford back. Any world where the Thunder trade for Giannis? I don't think so. I think the teams that have the big assets for Giannis wouldn't do an in-season trade. So, like, the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have all of these picks, like, ready to go, right? My guess is that this would be, if that were to happen with Giannis, it would happen in the offseason. Like, there's no reason for the Thunder to do this. So I think they'd rather wait. All right. Yeah, Presti got too much aura. Whew, man, this is fun. This is a fun day of content. We got to yell about James Harden, Darius Garland this morning. We got some drafts in, and then some breaking news. I love the breaking news time. Yeah, let's go, D-Rose. Let's go. I mean, we are just wrapping up right now, I think. But I love the midday stuff. If the James Harden thing goes down, we'll fire up another live stream. Honestly, if anything happens. Unless it happens tonight. If it happens tonight, I'm gonna be hosting trivia, so I can't do it. But if you are new here, we do the NBA Bit, our normal show, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. So go check that out. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is fun though. We're having a good time. You know, you didn't chase people. I'm sorry, D Rose. Just start from the beginning. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel. No way they make the Pistons leap from the other year. You talking about Utah? No, probably not. That's probably aggressive. Aggressive. But all right, let's call it there. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Enjoy. This is the best time of year. It's the most wonderful time of the year.